New for you at this hour, Rochester Public Schools will be shifting student start times for next fall, but not as much originally as proposed. So KIMT News 3's Anthony Monzon joins us with the details on the change district leaders are planning for this upcoming school year. Anthony.
Well, Tyler, there's been a lot of back and forth on this topic, so let me lay out some context. Rochester Public Schools changed bell times at the beginning of this school year. Then a survey found an overwhelming 97% of middle school staff were unhappy with the later schedule they'd been given. That led the district to consider starting elementary schools an hour and a half earlier at 8 a.m. next year, with secondary students starting at 9:15 a.m., the only viable change for this upcoming fall, according to RPS, based on the amount of buses, bus drivers, and money in its budget. But just 2 weeks ago, the district sent out another survey to parents, students, and staff, gauging how they would feel about those alternative start times. It found elementary students strongly support the shift, secondary students would strongly oppose it, parents would also oppose the proposed schedule, and most staff would support it. Now, that mixed feedback led RPS Superintendent Dr. Pakel to land on this change for next school year instead. This is the one you're going to want to look at. It's a more modest adjustment, making bell times 10 minutes earlier across all grade levels, giving district leaders additional time to find a better solution while recognizing the concerns of elementary staff.
Will 10 minutes sort of suddenly change all that and the reading scores will go through the roof? I'm sure not. But because we heard that so strongly from our educators, I think that 10-minute shift, though while it might create some inconveniences for some families and some shifts, I think it recognizes what we heard from them as important.
So where do we go from here? All right, district leaders will continue looking into a more significant change in bell times for the 2023-2024 school year, collecting data and feedback to find a solution that works for elementary and secondary learners and their families. Tyler?
All right, Anthony, thank you much. Now, Board Vice Chair Kathy Nathan points out next year's new start times represent a 10-minute shift for elementary schools and a 30-minute shift for secondary schools compared to the district's 2019-2020 schedule.